Septimia Zenobia, the Queen of Palmyra, stands out as one of the most remarkable and enigmatic women in ancient history. Born around 240 CE in the city of Palmyra, modern-day Syria, Zenobia's life was one of triumph, ambition, and eventual tragedy. As a queen, she led her kingdom to unprecedented heights, challenging the power of the Roman Empire. Her story is a tale of a woman who defied the expectations of her time, only to face the overwhelming forces of imperial Rome. Early life and rise to power. Zenobia was born into a prominent family in Palmyra, a prosperous city located in the deserts of Syria, which, at the time, was a strategic crossroads between the Roman and Parthian empires. Her family was likely of Arab or Semitic origin, with noble lineage. Zenobia's exact birth date is uncertain, but it is believed she was born sometime around 240 CE. Her upbringing is not well documented, but it is clear that she was highly educated, fluent in several languages, and well versed in the cultural and political dynamics of her time. Zenobia's marriage to Odenathus, the ruler of Palmyra, in the 250s CE, placed her in a position of power. Odenathus was a loyal ally of Rome, particularly in the defense of the eastern provinces against the threat of the Sassanid Empire. Zenobia, alongside her husband, became an influential figure in the governance of Palmyra, which had enjoyed a semi-autonomous status under Roman protection. After the assassination of Odenathus in 267 CE, Zenobia assumed control of the throne as regent for her young son, Vabalatius. Queen of Palmyra, defying Rome. Zenobia's rise to full sovereignty after her husband's death marked the beginning of her ambitious campaign to expand Palmyra's power. Her reign is characterized by bold military and diplomatic strategies, driven by a desire to establish Palmyra as a dominant power in the eastern Mediterranean. In the years following Odenathus' death, Zenobia took control not only of Palmyra but also of a vast swath of territory, which included parts of Egypt, Syria, and Anatolia. Her ability to rally her army, build alliances, and lead with strategic acumen was remarkable for a woman in a male-dominated world. Zenobia's forces first conquered Egypt in 270 CE, taking advantage of a power vacuum created by Rome's internal instability. The Roman Emperor, Aurelian, was dealing with multiple threats on various fronts, and Zenobia seized the opportunity to expand her empire. Zenobia declared her son, Vabalatius, as the King of Kings and adopted the title of Augusta for herself, signaling her desire for full sovereignty. She even went so far as to issue her own coins, bearing her image alongside that of her son, and began to fashion herself as a ruler on par with the emperors of Rome. Her ambitions seemed limitless, and she envisioned a Palmyrene empire that rivaled Rome itself. Military conquests and defeat. Zenobia's rise to power did not go unnoticed in Rome. The Roman Emperor Aurelian, who had been campaigning against the Germanic tribes and the Sassanids, turned his attention to the growing threat in the east. He launched a campaign to subdue Zenobia's forces in 272 CE, leading to one of the most dramatic military confrontations of the 3rd century. Zenobia's military prowess was demonstrated during the initial stages of the conflict. She commanded her forces with skill and led her troops into battle. However, despite several early successes, Zenobia was unable to hold off the advancing Roman army. Aurelian, a competent and determined general, systematically retook the territories Zenobia had captured, starting with Syria and continuing through Asia Minor. The decisive moment came in 273 CE when Aurelian besieged Palmyra itself. After a long and grueling siege, the city fell, and Zenobia was captured. The fall of Palmyra marked the end of the short-lived Palmyrene Empire and the beginning of Zenobia's downfall. Captivity and death. Zenobia's capture marked the end of her reign and the beginning of her tragic fall from power. Aurelian, though impressed by her bravery and intelligence, paraded her in a Roman triumph, a public spectacle meant to display the subjugation of an enemy ruler. The exact details of Zenobia's life following her capture are unclear. Some sources suggest that she was kept in captivity in Rome, where she lived in relative comfort, while others claim she was executed or forced into obscurity. According to legend, Zenobia's final years were spent in a villa outside Rome, where she lived quietly, away from the court's intrigue. Other accounts suggest that she was executed after her failed rebellion. Her life in captivity has been romanticized, with some suggesting she led a dignified life until her death, while others believe she suffered a tragic end. Legacy. Despite her defeat and the collapse of the Pomeranian Empire, Zenobia's legacy endures. Her story has been the subject of fascination for historians, artists, and writers for centuries. Zenobia was a symbol of defiance against the might of Rome, and her ambition and leadership have made her an enduring figure in the history of women in power. Zenobia's reign represents a moment in history where a woman stepped into the role of military and political leadership in a way that was unprecedented for her time. While her attempt to break free from Roman control ultimately failed, her legacy has remained powerful, serving as a symbol of strength, intelligence, and the pursuit of independence.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.